Okay, so something I witnessed and decided to share uh, with subscribers or whoever that come across this video. It's not something new, but it's good to sometimes remind us some of the things I've been preaching for years. And when I see it happen, I mean, there's nothing I can do but warn other people so that you won't fall into same mistake or becomes a victim. In this case, I won't even know whether to call it a victim, but because it's preventable. I mean, now someone bought a 206 recently, could say days ago, used one, and before you know it, the ECU got burnt. It blew off. That days after use. I don't know, maybe 7 days or less. They called somebody to come and find out the reason. The person came, traced and now saw some wires also got burnt in the process. So in other words, was the wire that burnt and damaged the ECU. I don't even know what happened. So they got another ECU, changed the wire that got burnt. The car seems not to be able to start anymore. They eventually checked and now saw there's another wire that got burnt from inside the vehicle. It seems that the wire comes from under the steering wheel to the engine bay. And then it seems that's even the one that connects to the one on the engine bay that got burnt. So at the end of the day, I don't know the full story, but at some point the owner of the car now decided to buy the wiring harness completely for 206. Supposedly the one that is meant for that engine in his car. Purchased it complete with the one they call dashboard. That's from the tail of the vehicle to the headlight. From the tail light to the headlight. Complete. Change it and it still didn't work fine since he got one before the car could start. Now it doesn't even start. Don't know, it cranks but no sign. So this has happened for about 2-3 days now. So I was like, okay. I wasn't engaged in the vehicle at all, but but I know the mechanic that was handling the vehicle, so I was like, okay. Nothing wrong in giving expert advice or at least offering some help. So I was like, hey, you people, all these things you are dancing around the bush is a waste of time. What you should have done from day one, even though you guys know this is what I do. The mechanics, they are aware this is what I do. I buy cars for people. I inspect, recommend, or purchase cars for people. Why didn't you guys convince that person to engage me to buy? Because the thing is, I actually know the person that bought the vehicle. The person also knows me. We do greet, you used to drive another brand of car. Days before, as in before now, until, I don't know, maybe he sold that brand and now decided to go for 206. I was expecting they should have advised him, go to this person. It's even better, even if you can't afford the full payment of inspection service, you can have that discussion. Maybe, who knows, I might agree. I'm not saying I will. I agree instrumental payment or whatever. They went ahead, they made that decision, they went and bought mechanic. Hear me out. Mechanics went ahead with him and checked the car and said it's okay. Alright. For what I've gathered, it seems they have burnt about 3 ECUs so far. The 3 and relays, they have injection relays now, it has burnt up to 5. So 3 engine ECUs condemned, unless I'm mistaken. Because so, but I know they've tested about 10, if not more, ECUs to see what the problem is. So when I came, I was like, hey, you guys just stop. I was like, just stop. Just came there and said, first thing first is to find out what engine that vehicle is even supposed to have in the first place. From new, what engine is supposed to be there? And I checked and I saw that the engine that that car was produced with was TU5JP. Hear me again, TU5JP. It's not TU5JP4, TU5JP, which is a 1.6 liter engine. So what that engine is actually, how much horsepower? Forgotten. Very quick. I've driven that car and I enjoy it. As one I used to repair then. And very fun, quick, and as well. So, unfortunately, most mechanics, they don't know, because it's just like between EW7 and EW10G4. They all look alike. The same thing, EW7A and EW10A, they all look alike. But there are, something somewhere will differentiate the two. So that's how that TU5JP looks like against TU3JP engine. That's the 1.4 liter engine. They all look alike. So, and timing belt are not the same. So it's possible that for some reason, because when I looked inside the engine, current engine there, the one there is obviously the TU3JP. That's the 1.4 liter engine. Alright, so now the wire they purchase, the wiring harness they purchase from tail, like I said, from tail to the front, they don't even know. They just told them, hey, this is for 1.4 liter engine. They bought them out. How are you even sure? Now, remember, just because it's 1.4 liter engine means that it must work with every wiring harness of 206 with that engine. No, they differ. Wiring system differ. Engine ECU is differ, even though it's same ECU. Injection system differ. So these are the things you need to know before you buy wire, to be sure it's for that engine. Before you now, I looked at even the wire they purchased. They've done bushing on the wire. I didn't even know. I was like, hey, come on, this is something that I've seen. Why purchasing the wire? So it wasn't that they bush out part of the one big connector there, and they reconnected it. So most likely that's even where the problem is. So the money they spent in buying the complete wiring harness, remove the one that was on the car that was for 1.6, the one they put, nobody even knows which one. So the issue now is the wiring harness as an issue, engine ECU. And see, the car has been there now. The man probably, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands he has spent. This is days after the vehicle was purchased. Now it has burnt up to how many ECUs? One or two persons watching this video will know what I'm talking about, or will be aware of the vehicle I'm referring to. Don't need to share the full details. But at least if you think maybe I'm making this thing up just to make content or to validate everything I've been saying, well, you hold that thought. I don't want to convince you otherwise. If that's what you believe, okay, then that's what it is. I'm only here to tell those who probably might be able to prevent having that same experience. Prevent yourself from or avoid that experience. Trust me, it's not fun. I would rather your engine fails. I would rather your gearbox fails. Yes, say that I mean to say that you are better off with a failed, weak engine. But if you go into this kind of electrical mess, I'm saying about 3 ECUs now burnt, money gone. No, see, there's something that you don't even know whether it can be fixed. That's even the problem. These are the things that end up making someone to scrap a car. Now, how much? Almost 300,000 naira spent on buying the complete wiring harness from the front, from the tail light to the headlight. I'm not sure the person who bought the wire will take it back. So what else? You go for another wire again, because obviously you cannot use that one for the 1. the interesting about that 1.6, the one with that, the old wiring harness from this thing, the engine has been removed. So getting that engine, remember, is not common. Is another thing. Then getting the ECU for that engine is another thing. So the easiest way, if I were the owner of the car, sure, I will see if I can find somebody that actually have 206 with that engine. Buy it, take the number of that ECU and look for it. It's going to be a project. It's going to, imagine, because you have to replace the engine. You have to find it. I mean, you end up spending close to 2 million naira, apart from the one you spent already. The reason why I wouldn't bother to do that is because of the power of that engine. Very good in fuel economy, yet has a lot of power compared to the 1.4. What I mean, power, it's not necessarily power, it's very quick and very aggressive, as in it's fun to drive. So, I mean, I don't see the reason why. But is it really worth it? For me, if I was glad to spend that kind of money, I'll just go for another car. So that's why I'm telling people, be very careful. Don't just go and buy a car. I mean, just few days after purchasing a car, now the car has been packed, the battering for one ECU, burnt to another. They change it, remove everything on the vehicle, change everything that looks like wire was replaced. Now it's even worse. Going back to the old wire itself is not even like a solution, because that one, they had to do some cut and join somewhere, because it was a conversion from 1.6 to 1.4. So they tried to make it work, which lasted for how many days? Then boom, it got burnt. The wire melted, burnt, and damaged the ECU. So you could say, okay, do it exactly the same way. That's if you can find somebody that can be able to redo what they did. Then you enjoy it for another few days. It got burnt, it burns the ECU, burns the wire again. You go back to square one. Wow. So, please, just do yourself a favor. Find somebody, like I said, remember, I went with a mechanic to do this, a mechanic. It's not his job to see all these issues out. What I mean by mechanic, I'm talking about when I say the car, I'm talking about the local mechanics we have. They are good mechanically, but not stuff like this. Because they repair the engine, they put what's it called? Imported foreign used engines, what we call tokumbo. So of course they say engine is sound, this and that. Come on. Okay, engine is sound, is there now, almost close to, I would say it's a new engine, but it can't run. So you ask people always wonder, but the engine is sound. Who cares? If your electrical is in a mess, you can't use that engine, no matter how new the engine is. That's how it is in a modern car. So that's why I say, I would rather you lose your gearbox. I would rather your gearbox fails, your automatic gearbox packed up. I would rather your engine broke into pieces. Then guess what? Okay, fine, it has happened, it has happened. If you have the front, fine. If you don't have it, you can leave it. You know this is the only solution. Get another engine, put it. Life goes on, you move on again. But in this case, if you like, call 20 electric, it's not a mess. In fact, the easiest way to fix this car is to buy another car that is running. As you see a car that is running, 206, the same size, everything. You start it is running, but probably because the body is bad. But it has the same engine. The body is in bad condition, but the electrical, everything is okay. You buy that car and then swap everything. That meaning that the project car, the body has to be good enough to worth it. Then you go and buy a donor car that is engine is running. So you don't have to buy the one that is dead. Who knows? Maybe there's another wrong connection done somewhere. You go and buy the wire, remove it from the vehicle, put on your own. Same issue. No, it has to be running. You confirm that all the electricals are intact. Even if abuse, let it be a minor abuse, you can reverse. That is the fastest and easiest way. But then it's more fun. More millions of naira, hundreds of thousands, or whatever. At the end of the day, you spend close to 6-7 million naira to buy a Nigerian used car. Because normally, because that's what it means. After you be wondering if you had known, probably 3 million naira would have gotten you very sound. I mean, that's too high anyway. So it's not even about the price, because you can buy a very clean 206. Yeah, you can buy a clean 206 at the price of 4 million naira, not knowing that this is what they did on it. How would you know? It's not, you won't even be able to detect all this abuse they do on electric cars. The body is clean, the interior is clean, every engine is sound like new engine. But probably you didn't even know that that's not even the engine that's car it's supposed to have, because they did the conversion. So how will you know? Maybe it was even a diesel engine that was there. They removed it and put petrol. But people that did electrical part of the conversion did a mess. Days later, you find yourself in the same situation. That's why the conversion is not my issue. It's how the conversion was done. So if I'm looking for a car to buy for someone, I look at, okay, it was converted from one engine to another. If I'm not the one buying to use the vehicle, I'll walk in and tell the person, forget it. Why? Because if I'm buying a car for you, I won't have time to start checking how the engine transport was done. I won't have the time. If it was my car, I would take my time. It will take me 2 years to check everything. But if it's somebody else, we will have to understand it. You will start putting unnecessary pressure on you. Hey, this car has been with you for 5 years. Why are you still holding on to it? You're wasting my time, this and that. But I'm the one. If it's my own car, I'll pack it. I have other cars, I'll be using it. Take my time. Like I said, whatever how long it takes to get it right. Sort out whatever mess they did on the electric car, and then start using the car. No matter what it costs, no matter how long it takes. But other people, they will first agree that no problem. Give it 2 weeks, then pressure will start coming from everywhere. Hey, how can you keep me in this position that I won't be able to use my car for how long? Why would I buy a car? I won't be able to use it. Everybody will start shouting, yeah. So that's why I don't agree to that anymore. Even if I was doing in the past, I don't anymore. Because people, especially people who are not actually car enthusiasts, they will not understand. Forget what people say. It's what they do. It's what you look at. They will tell you, I'll have that patience. They will not. Enthusiasts understand. They know what it takes, because so don't go and do that. If you might think you're enthusiast until you meet this kind of challenge, then you realize you actually are not. Because enthusiasts will be willing to spend, do whatever it takes on reasonable expenses. Things that if another person here will say, this must be a very stupid idea. Why will you go and waste this amount of money you could have used to buy another one? But maybe that because they are so attached to that vehicle, or there's something you're looking for, you keep doing that until you get the result. So that's why I say, if you're not enthusiast, don't buy a project car. If you're not a car enthusiast, don't say because you know all the car models, you can talk about cars. That doesn't make you enthusiast. Enthusiast is when you start paying attention to details in cars. You can be able, I don't know how to explain it. If you are, you know that. So it's almost dark, so it's time for me to move. Okay, I'm actually in my coupe, my Lion coupe. So I hope whatever I said that makes sense, and if it doesn't for you, anyway, what I can do, I wish you the best. I can't save every man. Okay. Okay. So see you guys. Let me enjoy my car.